I wanted to be a nurse, and when I applied for nursing for Pitt University, Duquesne University, Carnegie Tech University, they weren't accepting blacks. So I went to Mercy Hospital in Philadelphia to get my nurse training. But I went night school. I had to go to night school for a couple of years because I needed science and biology and a language. And I took those, and I was accepted in Mercy in 1942. And I had a weight problem. I only weighed 88 pounds, and you had to weigh 100 plus to get into school. We had 32 in our class. We were the largest class in history to be accepted at the school. We were a poor school. We made our own bandages, we made our own cotton balls, we made our own paper bags out of newspaper. We had, when you had a patient in isolation, like with tuberculosis or a communicable disease, the students, had to scrub the floor and do the wall hand high. I got a strep throat, and I had to be isolated. And when I was, after isolation and you went back to your school, they sent a letter to my director of nursing that I couldn't graduate until I had my tonsils out. I graduated in 1945. After I graduated, we have to take a state board, become a registered nurse. I took my state board in Pittsburgh. I was the only black nurse that was in the class that was taking my boards. My mother told me that she didn't want me to work until I was a registered nurse. So this was like in December. And I passed, and I started to work at Pasavan Hospital. And Sister Martha was the director of nursing. I don't suppose they would call it segregated, but it was. I took care of all the black patients. Occasionally I'd get a white patient because she was either a call girl, a mistress, and sometimes a prostitute, street prostitute. But anyway, I took care of, I think he had 10, it was 219 was the ward. I think I had 14 patients on the ward, and 221 was the room. That was like a semi-private room. I took care of those patients. And on the main floor, when the white nurses went to lunch, I relieved them on their floor. That's when I worked with mainly white patients. So one incident that happened, I took care of Dr. Morgan's wife who had had a baby, and she had complications, and she was in the hospital, and this day she wanted something for pain. I gave her something for pain, and we started a conversation, and she liked me. So when the nurses came back from lunch, I went back to my ward. And the next day, or later on the next day, she asked for me. And she said that I'd give her the best shot she'd ever had because it didn't hurt her. And I told her when I relieved again that I didn't work on the floor, and she told her husband, Dr. Morgan. He was one of the staff doctors. And he said, what did you do to my wife?" He said, you impressed her." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "She talked about you all that evening when I came to visit her." I said, "All I did was give her a pain shot." He said, "Well, I'm going to recommend that you work on the floor." So he did. So that's how I started working both units.